What happens when the most advanced hospital in the city is forced to operate like it's a century in the past, with no power, no systems, and no safety net? Episode 7 of The Pitt, Season 2 doesn't just raise the stakes, it erases the rules entirely. A cyber attack shuts down hospitals. Doctors turn against each other. Patients face impossible choices. And beneath the chaos lies a deeper question. When the system collapses, who do we become without it? Today we're diving deep into the cyber attack and hospital shutdown, Dr. Al-Hashimi's mysterious past, Robbie versus Langdon tension, Ilana's heartbreaking storyline, the social commentary hidden in patient cases, and what this all means for the future of the season. This video will contain spoilers. We're breaking down the ending and everything it sets up. Let's begin. Episode 7 finally reveals the root cause behind Westbridge diverting patients, a coordinated cyber attack targeting multiple hospitals. What we learn? Westbridge is held for ransom. Dominion Hospital is also compromised. Pittsburgh Trauma Medical Center has been targeted before. The only defense? Shut down all systems and go fully analog. This means no electronic records, no digital imaging access, no communication systems, no automated medication tracking. For a modern ER, this isn't an inconvenience, it's a nightmare. Why the shutdown is so terrifying? Hospitals rely on digital systems for medication dosages, patient histories, allergy alerts, imaging results, and internal coordination. Without them, doctors must rely on memory, paper notes, and verbal communication. And in an ER flooded with patients during a holiday weekend, mistakes become inevitable. Symbolism, losing the illusion of control. The shutdown represents more than a cyber attack. It strips away the illusion that modern medicine is invincible.
Technology created efficiency, but also dependency. Now the staff must confront a terrifying truth. The system they trusted can disappear overnight. One of the episode's most compelling tensions is the conflict between Dr. Robbie and Dr. Al-Hashimi. Why Robbie feels betrayed. CEO Trent Norris consults Al-Hashimi about the cyber attack, but not Robbie. From Robbie's perspective, he leads the ER. He's responsible for operations. He was excluded from critical decisions. This isn't just professional, it's personal. Why Al-Hashimi was chosen. From the administration's perspective, she has experience with cyber attacks. She worked in high-risk environments. She understands crisis protocols. She was the logical choice. But logic doesn't soften the emotional impact. Robbie's real fear, losing his purpose. Robbie's connection to the pit goes beyond a job. It is his identity, his community, his reason for staying. His upcoming sabbatical already threatens that. Being excluded confirms his worst fear. The ER can function without him, and that possibility terrifies him. Leadership versus ego, or something deeper? This conflict isn't about ego, it's about belonging. Robbie fears becoming obsolete in the one place he feels essential. This episode gives us our clearest look yet at Dr. Al-Hashimi's inner world, the bathroom scene. When she freezes during a discussion about a child hearing voices, then secretly calls the Pittsburgh Neuroscience Group, it signals
Unresolved trauma, ongoing mental health struggles, fear of relapse. Her composure isn't strength, it's discipline. Kabul and conflict medicine. We learned she worked in Kabul with Médecins Sans Frontières, including in a maternity hospital. This reframes earlier moments, her reaction to baby Jane Doe, her emotional restraint, her hyper-focus under pressure. These are not random traits. They are survival responses from working in war zones. PTSD in healers. Her arc highlights an uncomfortable truth. Doctors are trained to treat trauma, not to process their own. Conflict medicine leaves psychological scars, and in a hospital collapsing under pressure, those scars resurface. Ilana's storyline is one of the most powerful and respectful portrayals of assault aftermath on television. Why the show's approach matters? The assault is never shown. Her testimony is not dramatized. The focus remains on her discomfort, her fear, her guilt, her loss of control. This respects survivor autonomy. The story belongs to her, not the audience. The examination scene. The clinical procedure feels cold and invasive, intentionally, because that is the reality survivors face: repeated questioning, physical examination, emotional reliving of trauma. The show allows silence to carry the weight. Dana's role, compassion without overstepping. Dana demonstrates trauma-informed care. She explains each step. She avoids sudden touch. She maintains patient control. Her hesitation to comfort physically shows deep understanding. The withdrawal moment. When Alana considers withdrawing her claim, Dana's reaction reflects real-world frustration. Statistics show
many assaults go unreported. Few lead to convictions. Dana's expression represents the systemic failure survivors face. The elevator scene between Robbie and Langdon is a masterclass in tension. Why silence works. No shouting, no confrontation, just avoidance. Silence becomes punishment. The rooftop conversation. When Robbie tells Langdon he's glad he got help but isn't sure he wants him in the ER, the impact is devastating. Langdon's confidence collapses. He begins to hesitate during treatment, second-guess decisions, lose focus. In emergency medicine, hesitation can cost lives. Consequences of broken trust. This arc shows that recovery isn't linear. Langdon may be sober, but trust must be rebuilt, and Robbie isn't ready to give it. The patient cases in this episode reflect broader societal issues. Roxy, choosing hospital over home. Roxy chooses to stay in the hospital rather than burden her family. Her decision reflects fear of being a burden, desire to preserve family memories, the emotional complexity of terminal care. Her husband's struggle shows love battling acceptance. Orlando flees treatment due to fear of medical bills. This highlights healthcare inequality, financial barriers to care, and real-world consequences of medical debt. The show asks a painful question. What good is treatment if people can't afford to survive it? Episode 7 isn't about a cyber attack. It's about what remains when systems collapse. 1. Institutional fragility. Modern systems feel permanent until they're not.
2. Identity and purpose. Robbie's crisis shows how work defines self-worth. 3. Trauma in healers. Al-Hashimi proves caregivers carry invisible wounds. Ilana's story shows survival isn't loud, it's enduring. Orlando's fear reflects systemic injustice. What Episode 7 sets up? The analog shutdown will lead to a critical medical error, forcing the team to confront their dependence on technology. Robbie versus Al-Hashimi will divide staff into loyalty camps. Al-Hashimi's trauma may resurface in a pediatric case, forcing her to confront her past publicly. Episode 7 of The Pitt shows us that the greatest threats aren't always external. Sometimes they are the systems we trust, the trauma we carry, the silence between colleagues. And when the lights go out, we discover who we really are. What did you think of the episode? Was Robbie justified? Did the cyber attack expose cracks that were always there? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for weekly breakdowns of The Pitt Season 2. I'll see you in the next episode.